Whether you've been in union for a while or you haven't been there yet, but you would like to learn more about what it's like to be in union, then this video is perfect for you. Bonjour, it's been a while. For those of you who don't know, my name is Christine, welcome to the channel. For those of you who are returning subscribers, welcome, hello. So yeah, the first video of this year is a very nice one, and I thought it was appropriate as tomorrow, as of the day I'm filming, is the 6-month anniversary of my twin flame union. So I would like to share how this experience was like for me, and yeah, what I learned in those 6 months, because it was some very important insights that I had never really considered before until I really sat down and I was present with how those months passed. And yeah, like I could talk about it for hours pretty much, but I don't want this video to be like 2 years long. But yeah, I've just limited it to 6 tips for now, or 6 things I learned. And yeah, so I'll speak a bit generally for now. It has been quite the ride actually, and before my union I was with a false twin flame for a few years, and of course I was under the impression that he was my twin flame. And let me tell you, the difference between a false twin flame and your true twin flame, holy shit. It's night and day. And it's a huge thing, because what I noticed in my false twin was that our relationship never changed, no matter how much spiritual work I did. And it even seemed to get worse as time went by, right? It's like, what the hell is going on? I'm doing the inner work here. I'm just being really like focusing on my relationship with God. I'm being very, or source, whatever you prefer. Yeah, I'm being like on this, right? What's going on? And of course it was revealed that it happened like this. But with my true twin flame, on the other hand, holy shit, it's like I'm on top of my inner work and it shows. And it keeps getting better and better. So the first thing I would like to share about what I learned after 6 months of union is courtesy of my twin flame, and because I asked him before this video, like, okay, is there anything you have learned, because I would like some ideas. And I really liked the point he made, and his point was that I know how perfect it is to be in love, and that was a really beautiful point that he made, because many of us before coming into our twin flame union, we consider that relationships are hard, or there's a lot of pain associated with relationships when you're with a soulmate, a false twin flame. It feels like there's constant abandonment, like there's trauma bonding even, like it's really painful. And I noticed it as well in my relationship with my false twin. I was giving all this love to this person, and was like, yeah, let's say you have like the world's most expensive champagne, right? And this is your love. And there's a glass over here, but the glass has all these holes on the bottom of it and just leaking out. And that's what it's like to be in a relationship with anyone but your twin flame. It's very painful because your love is never reciprocated. And that's okay, that's not to blame the other person, because they have a twin flame too, and they were designed to love their twin flame perfectly and be loved by them perfectly. But for everyone, like myself included, it's perfect for me to love my twin flame and be loved by him in return. And yeah, that was a really beautiful point that I never considered before, because even though there have been some disagreements sometimes, and yeah, disagreements between twin flames are always a call to go deeper. It's never, because if this is your true twin flame, there will be no disagreement at the core, right? You're one being at the core. But yeah, if you're experiencing this, it's just a call to go deeper with this, to see like what's going on here, right? And there is a right and a wrong answer, and that's not to say you're wrong or right, or they're wrong or right. It's about who has allowed God to flow through them best in this moment. So it's not about being right as much as it's about making like the correct choice and seeing what the correct choice for you at every moment is. And yeah, going a bit more in depth in that, and I can make another video about this actually. Yeah, I'll make another video about this. It's a juicy topic. But yeah, a very swift, like quick version of this is like, let's say you want to live in the mountain, your twin flame wants to live in the countryside, like hills, no mountains, too cold. So the thing here is that there is something where you're not clear within yourselves. So by, yeah, what you can do is do your inner work here and get very clear about what it is that you desire at the core in the mountain landscape or whatever. And yeah, also have a conversation about like, hey, what do you like about the hills? I like this about the mountains. Like, let's get clear. And yeah, there will always be agreement if that's your twin flame. Unless there's a block, but then you can heal it and there will be agreement after you heal this. So yeah. And yeah, like, I love the words he used when he wrote this to me, like, how perfect it is to be in love. Because indeed, the love you have for your twin flame and the one, like, they have for you, it is perfect indeed, because it was, like, created to be perfect. So yeah, it's amazing. And I never really received romance in the way that I do in my union, in this way, like, that was so perfect for me. And the same is true for my twin also. Like, he never received this romance in a way that was so perfect for him before that, because that's what twin flames are designed for. It's designed to be like puzzle pieces, right? You fit perfectly together. So yeah, if you're scared about, like, oh, what will my union be like? Will I like my twin flame? Will I not? Yeah, if you don't like each other, then that's a block to be healed. But as you heal this, you will totally like each other. And it will be proof that you're perfect for each other. So if you're wondering, like, what if my twin flame is not my type, then keep going deeper, right? It's not about the external or about what they're showing you right now. It's about how your relationship unfolds. And if a person is indeed your twin flame, then the relationship between you, it will evolve perfectly the more you do your inner work. Because, yeah, as I was saying, I was perfectly romanced, but I also took the time to romance myself before that, right? Took myself out on a few dates, did a few fun things, right? And you don't have to go out to have a date. The other day I had a kick-ass date at home, like ordered sushi, played video games, it was awesome. And yeah, those are great things to do if you want to attract your twin flame romance. Highly recommend. The second thing I learned after 6 months of being in union is that if it's your upset, it's your responsibility. You feel sad by something, your responsibility to heal. You feel angry at something, your responsibility to heal. Same is true for your twin flame. He or she is sad about something, their responsibility. Of course, you can love and support them while they go through this, but yeah, it's not your responsibility to make your twin flame happy, as it's not their responsibility to make you happy. It's your responsibility to make yourself happy, because happiness doesn't come from outside of you, and it's also the thing about twin flames that they amplify each other, right? So if you have a lot of sadness at your core, if you have a lot of anger, a lot of upset, a lot of trauma, it's going to be amplified in your union, right? So, but by healing this, if you have a lot of joy, if you have a lot of, like, fun in your consciousness, if you have a lot of, like, peace, then that's amplified even more. So it's so important to be committed to doing your inner work, because if you don't have a specific, like, healing tool that you use, and I highly recommend the mirror exercise, it's linked below. Definitely check it out. It's been my go-to for the last few years. It's amazing. Works on every block, every upset, no matter where you are at your twin flame journey. It can heal it, like, whether there's a third party situation, whether there's, like, I don't know, anything, like your twin flame blocked you. Yeah, it works on everything as you apply it. It's like the duct tape of healing tools, now that I think of it. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, it's very important to have a foundation of inner work, because there will be upsets and you will trigger each other. Not intentionally. Like, I remember there was, like, the biggest upset we had was when I said something that it wasn't offensive, like there was nothing bad about what I said. I just felt called to, like, say something in a specific way. Like, that's how I expressed myself in this moment, and this really triggered him, because there was an old relationship wound here. And as he got triggered, he acted in a certain way that he felt called to, right? Because it's all about being yourself in your union. So I was myself that triggered him, he was himself that triggered me as well. So it was not my responsibility to censor myself, because I didn't know that this would trigger him. But it was also not his responsibility not to behave the way he did, because he was, like, he wanted to work through his feelings, like in the other room maybe, right? That's okay. Right, that's his, the way he wants to, like, process his feelings. So the important part here was for me to heal whatever this situation was bringing up for me. So him going to the other room to work through his feelings, that made me feel rejected. So I went down, like, took my notepad out, started writing the mirror exercise, like, okay, I'm upset because I'm rejecting myself. Okay, let's go deeper. And yeah, I found a gold mine pretty much that day. Lots of self-acceptance after that. Like, it was very intense and good healing. And that's what happens with your twin flame, right? And it wasn't my responsibility, his upset, but his, yeah. And my upset was not his responsibility either. We were just being ourselves. And this happens, like that you trigger each other. It's not bad, it's actually good. Because when you're aware of your upset, when you're aware of what your core wound is, that's when you can heal it. If you're not aware of it, then you can't know what to heal. You can't go blindly in the dark, like, oh, maybe I have abandonment issues. Let's go heal that. Okay, I don't feel very, like there's something here, but let's go heal that just in case. It doesn't work this way. Or maybe I have this other issue. And this happens because your twin flame is your partner in ascension, not because they're a jackass or something like that. But this is point number 3 that I wanted to make. And point number 3 is don't be a dick. And that's very, very important because I see a lot of people blaming their twin flame for triggering them. And again, like, you're upset, your responsibility. And it's not a very healthy dynamic if you... Because if you expect your twin flame to be your source of happiness, then you should be their source of happiness too. And that's not very healthy, right? You're a human being. You don't want this burden of like being someone's source of happiness and someone's source of love and being there at all times. Yeah, that's exhausting. Ain't nobody got time for that. And the same is true for your twin flame, right? Like, it's not that they don't want to be with you or love you and support you, but yeah, being someone's source, that's not your responsibility as a human being, and that's not their responsibility as a human being. It's God's responsibility to be your source, and it's all about understanding that it's God at the core, right? God is your source of love, God is your source of happiness, God is your source of peace, not your twin flame. And your twin flame union will always reflect the relationship that you have with God, right? So if, let's say that you just go to God when you want something, and that's not something you might be doing consciously, okay, that's why the triggering happens, then yeah, your twin flame is going to reflect that to you, being like, okay, I want something, now I'm gone, bye. And that's something you need to heal, right? Because it's presented to you. And if you feel upset by it, then it's your responsibility to heal, that's your part. And also this, like, point number 3, don't be a dick, also encompasses judging your twin flame for whether they do spiritual work or not. And again, that's playing God, right? Because God is giving you this part of the spiritual work to work on. And it's not fair to judge your twin flame by what you see on the outside, like, oh, I'm doing all the spiritual work and he or she is out there partying with all these other people, and yeah, they're doing spiritual work as well. Because if you're the only one who's doing spiritual work and they don't do any spiritual work, that's not your twin flame, because you're not making the same core choice. So it's either they're making the same core choice, in that case it means twin flame, or they're not making the same core choice, in this case, yeah, false twin, soulmate, whatever. You can say bye to this person, find your true twin flame instead, and be happy. Right, so yeah, because that's a huge part of the twin flame definition, like, they make the same core choices as you. So yeah, but yeah, sometimes when we're in upset, we might think that we're the only ones doing all the work, but yeah, that's not true, right? And there's an equal share in what you do for your union. Like, maybe your twin flame is more business oriented, and that's the piece that he or she has, but you have the spiritual work piece. That's okay. Doesn't mean they're not contributing, it's just a different thing. And it's okay if one of you is more mastered in one area than the other, and you can always teach each other and learn from each other, because your twin flame is your highest teacher, right? And refusing to learn from your best and highest teacher, yeah, that's a little bit arrogant, in my opinion. Point number 4 is that it's safe to be vulnerable, right? And yeah, the twin flame connection can feel extremely vulnerable, and that was another point that my man brought up today when I asked him about, like, what he learned during the 6 months. And it's that, yeah, sometimes it can feel hard to open up, especially when you have past relationships, when every time you were opened up and shared your love, you were, like, rejected or abandoned for it, right? It's like, no matter how much love you share, or having to censor yourself also. right? Because for myself, like a big part of what I did in my foster relationship, I was really centering my spiritual side. I could not speak about him to him about God. He got super triggered. That was his upset to solve, and yeah, nothing to do with me. But still, like I felt so suppressed by this. And this makes sense, right? Nobody wants to be suppressed. Everybody wants to be like, yeah, it's so relieving to be your full self at all times, and this is what happens in your twin flame connection. Like, you're encouraged to be your full self at all times with your twin flame. Because, yeah, if you're trying to be someone else, that's not attractive to them. And if they're trying to be someone else, then you can guess that. Not guess, like, you know. Intuitively, you know. And you're like, hey, can you stop being a clown? Like, stop pretending. Like, take off the mask. Like, I don't like that. And yeah, that's because you're designed to be perfect for each other, as you are at the core, not as you think you should be, or as they think they should be. Because, yeah, that's a huge part of this. And yeah, being vulnerable can feel scary at times, but it's actually very safe in your union. And this is especially true about, like, intimacy, right? Because that's one of the most vulnerable parts of life. But yeah, also intimacy with your twin flame is a very safe space to resolve or heal any issues you might have with your body image or with previous partners in intimacy, or maybe some sexual trauma. It's a very, very safe space, to heal whatever comes up if there's some trauma or some misaligned thoughts about your sexuality as a divine being. So, yeah, and sex between twin flames doesn't necessarily look like this exciting, huge thing on the outside, like the adult movies. Oh my, it's not really like this, because it's far deeper, and it's also an ascension tool, right? That's not to say it's not really peaceful and it's not fulfilling, because it is very fulfilling. But yeah, it's not like, it might not look like something crazy impressive on the outside, but at the core, on the inside, because you're always having an inner experience as divine being, it feels very, very good and very satisfying for whatever it is that you desire in that moment and whatever it is that you need. So, number 5, what I learned after 6 months of being in twin flame union is that anything out of alignment with your divine self will fall away as you come into union and as you're in it. This is inevitable, and if you're coming into your union right now, it's very important to know that. Like, if there's anything out of alignment in your relationships, in your workspace, in your, like, thoughts, I don't know, like, anything, it will have to fall away. Otherwise, you can't really call in this energy. Or if you have any past lovers that hang around, because maybe there's friendship here. There's not, okay? That relationship ended. Like, if you're sure this person is not your twin flame and they're an ex, there's literally no point in having them as a friend. The only exception here is co-parenting, like if you have children from a previous relationship or marriage, but even that is not friendship. It's not like you'll just hang out with this person. It's for the sake of your kids, and that's perfectly understandable. So yeah, like anything out of alignment with your divine self will fall away as you come into union. It's inevitable. And if you do not want to release what you're being called to release, then this will delay your union, of course, because you're not having the space for it, and you're not making the space for it. So you can't be mad at the universe about, like, oh, I'm not letting go of, like, all these things that are holding me back, but why is my good not here? Well, because you don't have the energy to support that yet. You're not letting go of what you're called to let go of, and you will know that you're being called to let go of something if it feels very bad. Like if there's a codependent relationship in your life. Yeah, it will feel bad, and you'll be called to let go of that shit. Right? And yeah. And two things will happen. One of two things will happen when you let go of a relationship. It's either that it will transform and it will be more love-based, or it will fall out of your life. And that's okay, because your union comes first, because your union is your ascension. And your relationship with God also comes first. So you're letting go of things that don't really serve you for something really juicy. So yeah, can you not see that? This is not very much a choice. It's like, well, it is a choice, but it's like, shitty thing or amazing thing, you know? Who wants a shitty thing? And as you're in your union also, you'll be called to let go of thought patterns, of like anything that is not in alignment. And that's okay, because that's the only purpose of your union. Like, The purpose is not to just hang out and have sex all day and like go on dates. Like, these are all nice, but there's something way deeper. It's not just about having a romantic relationship. That's not what is ultimately the most satisfying. It's about ascension. It's about being one with God and living a life that is centered around your spirit, your highest self. And yeah, if something is not in alignment with your higher self, of course it will have to fall away. And that's natural, and that's life, right? And you respect your choice to ascend, and you respect other people's choices not to. That's okay. And it's always worth it when you're called to let go of something in favor of your twin flame union. Always, always, always worth it. No matter what it is, even if it's like a ton of money. It's worth it because you'll be doing your life purpose with your twin flame. And the money that you let go of, even if it was like millions or whatever, yeah, you'll get billions by doing your life purpose with your twin flame. So yeah, and it's more sustainable to do your life purpose with your twin flame than be somewhere where your foundation was never a true foundation based in love at all. So yeah, whatever you're called to release, do it. It's definitely worth it. Even if at first it's uncomfortable. Right, that's part of spiritual growth. And let's go to point number 6, like 6 things I learned after 6 months in twin flame union, and this is like the thing most people don't expect. And if you expected this, then good. That means that you get it. You get what the point is. Good, you're doing great. So, number 6 is that union is meaningless without God in it. And I kind of hinted at this before, about how it's not just about having a romantic relationship. But yeah, like, at the core, it's not your twin flame that you want as a person, because they're human. They cannot possibly give you all the happiness and peace and purpose that you desire. But yeah, they were designed to be your lover by God, but yeah, and your highest teacher and your best friend. They were designed to be your companion throughout life, and your companion is your equal. They are not your source, and you're not their source either. You're companions and you're equals. But yeah, the one who was designed to be your source is God, and at the core it is God that you want, and it's God's love that you desire in your union. And yeah, God as your lover expresses him or herself through your twin flame, and that's a really divine thing. That's why twin flame sex feels so satisfying. That's why romance between twin flames is so perfect, right? This love, that's why it's so perfect. Because it's God loving you in this way through your twin flame. And yeah, your twin flame is designed to express this love and channel this love perfectly for you. But yeah, if there was no God in this relationship, then it would be meaningless. Because at the core, as divine beings, we all only ever desire God. And yeah, if you think you desire just love or just sex, then yeah, that's not the point. And you will just get it for a little while, but then you'll notice that it feels unhappy, it doesn't feel very fulfilling. And yeah, the same is true for anything else. Like, you think you want the brand new house or the brand new car, but yeah, ultimately that's not what will make you happy. Yes, it will make you feel more supported to have more abundance or your union, but yeah, it's not what makes you happy. What makes you happy is your relationship with your creator. And yeah, so this is all I have for you in this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it insightful. I'm really happy to be sharing about my union a little bit more on my channel. Definitely felt called to. It's time. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to subscribe, click the like button, leave a comment. I love interacting with my viewers. If you would like to get into your twin flame union or deepen your union if you're already in it, then as a certified ascension coach, I am able to help you do exactly that. So I will be using the same tools that I used in order to get into my union and maintain it, and yeah, pretty much also helps with your life purpose also, which is a huge part of your twin flame journey, and anything else. So if you'd be keen on that, then definitely feel free to check out the links in the description below. I'm also opening a new group class that is very, very affordable, and yeah, seriously, spaces are limited. Definitely, if that's something that you would be interested in, feel free to sign up, because it will be juicy AF. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.